In a healthy relationship, there's flow, there's movement, and there's balance between giving and taking. And when that balance is taken out, relationships suffers, relationships get illnesses, and there's a potential for the relationship to fail. I'm talking about all relationships now. Friendships, romantic relationships, and relationships between siblings. I am not including relationships between parents and children, or primary caregivers or caregivers and children, because that's a different relationship. And in that relationship, the parent give and the children, they take. But on all the other ones, the giving and taking has to be balanced. We have to give as much as we are taking. So when we take out the parent and a child relationship and we look into all the other relationships, what I'm going to be demonstrating and talking about is going to apply to any of those. Again, today I have my $2. You can have whatever props you have at hand when we're working in this session today. Okay, we're gonna start with this $2, which will be our partners. We're gonna work this. The example will be in romantic relationships. Okay, so now, so the first thing we should actually do, let's determine the position of our relationship. What do I mean by that? Okay, so what is the position of this relationship you're working with? This example, this is a romantic relationship. It's a man and a woman. There's an ideal position, which is this one, where the man and the woman, or the partners, could be men and women, they are in this position, right? They are next to each other, equally as partners, as you can see here. This will be the ideal position for the relationship to thrive, to be able to move forward. They're standing beside each other, looking to their future together and to their future separate also, right? And they have a way forward. So this is the ideal positioning. This is another position of a relationship that could find itself in. This position, we have them facing away from each other, both looking outwards. Usually in this position, they are looking out into their past, whether it's their past relationship or their family past or their traumas, or even it could even be that they're looking out into their own futures separately. Okay, so again, this is the ideal one. If you are watching this right now and you see your relationship being here, if you recognize this is the current state of your relationship, then I invite you to also go get your own preps and actually put it in front of you in this position and sit with that for a little bit. Now, it could also be like this, that they're not even so close, they're so far off within the relationship. They're both out facing their own directions, their own worlds, and not even close to each other. There's this distance, and that's also very common in relationships, in romantic relationships, that they might even be living together, but it's like they have so much space between. They don't know each other almost. It could also be like this, where it's very confrontational, bidding and bickering head-on kind of a relationship. This is also another very common position in romantic relationships, where everything is confrontational. There's competition. It's not side by side. It's a very confrontational position, as you can see. When you're standing like this with someone, it's like you're ready to take out your fist and fight. And if you do recognize or you sense this could be the relationship, your relationship, again, I invite you to place your dollies, your preps, and also in this position and sit with that for a little bit. Now, there's a lot of other position you might feel. The one is facing the future while the other one is facing away, looking into their past. Think like this. So this is the one facing their future, and the other one still facing their past, maybe their past relationships or their family, their past. They're looking into the family or looking into their own thing that is drawing them back, right? While the other one is pulling forward. It's another position. They could also be looking past each other, right? The other one is looking there and the other one is looking there, but they're quite almost close. So positioning, there's so many positions, as much as there's so many relationships that we might find our relationship in. And throughout the course of our relationship, the positions might change. Maybe it will be like this, and then we both then turn around and give the space, and now the position that we're in, we sit with it as the first step in this session today. Why am I bringing up positions? I want us firstly to acknowledge where we are in this relationship and to see what needs to happen. Remember this ideal position that I put out in the beginning. So what needs to happen for us to come to this ideal position? For example, if we are here, we've been together, let's say, for some time. We now just not even roommates. We are people that are, I guess, that are roommates, that are living in the same place. Maybe the first steps that would happen, we can't jump from 0 to 100, right? Would be to maybe to turn around from our past that we're both looking at, right? And maybe come to this confrontational position. This is what is needed, right? To confront each other and to confront the nature or the state of the relationship. I very much know we can still have conversations and confront things in this position. Of course, we can have a confrontation, and it's not even a confrontation, then it's just us looking into difficulties that may enter relationships, like illnesses. Difficulties will enter relationships even if their positions are like this, right? But when the positions are like this, difficulties still enter, and it's harder to even look at them because we're not even looking into each other. So anyway, back here. So the first step or the baby steps would be to turn. Now we found our way. We've made our way to be confrontational and to confront things head on. Right? Now, from here, it's actually easier to find the solutions, to turn and to be next to each other rather than to be looking into each other like this. And yes, of course, I know we could also turn away from each other and have this position, which is also needed at times, right? If we are starting from here, it will be very much needed to face away, right, before we can face the future. Maybe we can face our past first, then face the future. Now that you have established your own relationship and your own position within your relationship, I want you to sit with the question of where do you think it's realistically possible for your relationship? What would need to happen for your relationship to reach this state, for your relationship to be here. And which will bring today's topic of giving and taking. There's so many layers that needs to be acknowledged within relationships for a relationship to thrive, like communication, right? And ending our previous relationship, right? Ending the union that we come from, for us to come into this union without the baggage from the past. And also coming in fully, both parties, as adults, in their adult self, where they can be able to move forward as both adults. In the next session, in the next video, we will be talking about ending our previous union and having a little ritual, a little work, a little session where we acknowledge our previous partners and we acknowledge the part that we have played and the part that they've played, so that we can move forward with what we need to learn or what we need to let go in our relationship. But now we are here. How can we balance giving and taking, given that we are now in this position? Let's say we managed to work through things and now we are here. Giving and taking, as the name suggests, you give as much as you take. You give as much as you take. And that doesn't mean you give exactly what you are taking. No, it's quite impossible, really, because another person will not give you what you've given them. Then you might as well just give it to yourself. But we need a balance, so they give us what we might not have or what we don't have, right? So now we have our two couple here. They're in a relationship and they are in a balanced, healthy relationship where they are equals next to each other, looking into their future. I take as much as I will give, and I don't give more than I'm taking. And if I know that they can only give me this much, well, I don't come and give them this much, because I'm going to hold resentment, because I'm going to expect to get this much from them because I've just given so much. Let's make it into a practical example. The partnership come and they are in union, and one decides that I will go out and I'll go in a workplace, I'll go and work, I'll go and get resources, I'll go out and work and have money and bring into the family. And the other says, well, I'll bear children, our children, and I will take care of the house, and I will be with the children or be with the home, or I'll take care of the other part. I'll cook. That is an equal giving and taking, in bracket. It can be an equal giving and taking. Now let's say you go to work 8 hours, you come back, you come with your resources. Here's the food, here's the money, here's what I have worked for. You come to a home that is beautifully prepared, a home that has food and fed children and clean children, etc. Now, when you're back from work, you've now both done your work. You both now gave into the relationship. From after you're back from work, if he continues to pour and give while you're no longer giving, the balance will now be out. If the responsibility of the house completely falls on this part, and the home and the children and everything still falls on, and there's no help, the balance is then taken out. Then she's giving way more. Then this partner is giving way more than they are receiving. Resentment starts to build up. Now, if this one comes home, and I'm using the word, this classical one, because it's so easy to follow and it's so common. If this one comes back and from a tired workload, acknowledging that this one is also tired from their workload, they're able to come together, join, and think, oh, I had a long day, and they can share their day. I've also had a long day, and how do we move forward to give to each other? Oh, can I offer you to do this for you today? Can I offer you to do this for you, and to share the responsibilities that are left? Now, that is an equal giving and taking, because they are constantly aware that, oh, you might be giving too much, I might need to give more. And it happens quite a bit in what I've seen in my practice with a married couple, when one goes out for work and the other stays behind, when the balance we cannot see, oh, it's now no longer balanced. And it needs that sense of, when you're in a relationship, to see, I am actually giving more than I can handle, than I am receiving. And how can I give less? And of course, same example, children grow and the responsibility of the home might be less, right? It can also be that the person that had went out to work to find resources comes back, and they have to still work in the home, and they have to still look after the children and do the chores, because this party spend the whole day reading magazine or social media and doing nothing, right? And then just complains, I've had a headache, and if it continues, the balance is off, and resentment will build up. Like, oh my God, I go out and I give still, and I have to give more than I'm getting. What am I getting? Then this might start to happen, and this might start to happen. This might start to happen, or maybe this might start to happen. From here, it's very easy to then come to this position. I like to always think of how, when we care for a relationship and we are aware of the giving and the taking within it, that's how we are caring for our partners as well as for ourselves. When we can honestly assess and see, am I taking more than am I giving? Because it's something we are very much always aware of. Am I taking more than I'm giving, and how can I bring back that balance for myself? And when we rectify ourselves, it automatically rectifies, because yes, the other part can say, hey, why are you no longer giving like you did? And we can then say, actually, I was giving way more than I was taking, and it was hurting not just me but us. It was hurting the relationship. So I invite that introspection of realizing whether or not we are giving more than we are taking, or if we are taking more than we should be taking, and how we might be injuring our own relationship. And for our relationship to move forward, how can we rectify that? And once we can find ourselves in this position where we can walk, giving and receiving to each other, and giving love and receiving love equally in the relationship thrives, and we give to our offsprings the gift that they can take to their relationships, where they can learn how to give and how to take within a relationship healthily and equally. That is the ultimate goal, really, is what we then are teaching our children to move forward with. What are we teaching them to take forward to the world? I hope you can take this little practice and take a look into your own relationships, into your own friendships, into your own romantic relationships, into your relationships with your siblings. It's very important with our siblings that we're also in this position, right? That we are not giving more than we should. We're not giving more than we take. And then they won't resent us. Because another thing, sometimes, especially in sibling relations, when we give more than the other can actually give, we're also doing injustice to them because they can't and they resent us. And you find at times you say, I've been doing, you end up saying, I did this and this and this and this for you, and you don't appreciate me, or you don't show appreciation. Yeah, because they can feel, they know that you're giving them something they can't give back. It's out of balance. And I know giving back is not in the same way, like I said, but they can't give back maybe an advice or whatever, because we say, I already have an advice, I don't need an advice. You don't come and take from them as well. For example, in siblings relationship, when we have resources, when we have money and we can offer our siblings, we give them money. We say, here's the money, you go and start a business. How we can take, which is very important that we also take to keep that balanced, that because then when we unbalance it, then we become the superior one, right? So we want to keep that balance. We can then go and take from them by saying to them, could you do this for me, or can you offer me this advice? Of course, we take what is appropriate for what we gave, and we give what we know they can give us back. So we don't give them multitude of money and then expect, because then we're going to want to receive the same amount, whether we like it or not, unconscious or not conscious. We're gonna want to take what we've given them. So for us, to save us from having this resentment of saying, I've done this for you, I've done that for you, assess, am I giving this person too much than they can give to me, than I can take from them? Right? If they ask for a favor and all of that, can you give this to me? Of course, if you can, if it's within your means, you can give to them. But then when you are coming in to take, come in and also take. Give them the dignity to also give. And giving in this example will be, you come for an advice to someone, that's them giving back to you. They give you back in time. You sit with them and they maybe give you an advice, maybe they talk to you in some way, or they give you that companion, they make you laugh, and they give you in that way, and then you feel fulfilled. You feel it feels good to have the flow is there within that relationship. You see, it doesn't have to be the same thing. It shouldn't be the same thing, really. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. So when we keep that flow of giving and taking there, that's great. What is not good is when we give them, we say, here's the money, take. And they take the money and maybe they try and offer us something. Can I look after something of yours? And we say, no, I'm fine. Don't bother yourself. I'm fine. Or when they try and offer us, no, don't bother yourself. I'm fine. I'm okay. And even it could be as little as, can I lift that heavy thing for you? No, it's fine. I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. And yet we become resentful because we say, I give and give and give to these people, but we don't actually allow ourselves to take. We don't allow ourselves to take from them because we think, they don't have enough, or they're poorer than us, or we have it so much better than them, so I shouldn't be taking from them. Not realizing you're actually hindering the relationship that you have with them by not taking, because sooner rather than later you will start resenting, and the relationship will start to spiral down. Okay, I hope that was a helpful session today. Look up for part 2 of this session where we talk about moving forward from a previous relationship. Thank you so much for staying in. Thank you for the likes, the subscription, the shares. I'm very grateful and very thankful for all of you being here and sharing your own journey with me.